What's up, y'all? We are back with another episode of Brutally Simple Cooking, and today we're making sweet potato pancakes. That's right, it's one of our latest favorites. Now today we're going to make two different versions. We're going to do one using a sweet potato puree. All right, for convenience you can buy a can of this at the grocery store, and we're going to make one using a freshly baked sweet potato. Today we're using a Japanese yam, but you can use any yam that you want. Now remember what we mean by brutally simple. Pro tip: we want to keep things so simple and non-neurotic that they're brutally simple. We don't like complicated steps and a lot of different processes and a lot of different ingredients. We want to keep things super real, using real food ingredients, and we want to make sure that we have everything mise en place. That means in its place before we begin. So the first one we're going to make is our puree version. For that we're going to use 3 eggs. We're also going to use that puree. Those are the stars of the show. It also helps to have on hand either a good quality coconut oil based cooking spray. Now, pro tip: the reason you want coconut oil is because it's mainly saturated and it's safe to use at high temperatures. Or you can use one of our trusted favorites, which is some butter. We'll use both of those today. For seasoning, always make sure that you have some salt. Pro tip: salt makes everything taste better. It makes the flavors pop. All right, and then I like to put a little bit of vanilla in my pancakes. Now, also, we're going to want to make sure that we have a blender. I got a Vitamix here. Now, I tried to do this with a hand mixer and it just didn't turn out the same. I think it's because the blending process makes a lot of air get into it or something like that. So pro tip: when you're making these pancakes, make sure that you have a blender. I'm using a Vitamix. I don't know what another blender would be like, but I'm sure it would be fine. So let us begin. All right, so in this, we're gonna go ahead. Now, pro tip with the Vitamix: you wanna make sure you put your liquid ingredients in first. So we're doing our 3 eggs. And then you want no more than equal volume of your potatoes. All right, so you can make this a more egg dominant pancake if you want to. I'm gonna do for each egg a heaping tablespoon of puree. All right, so it looks just like that right there. Now we're also going to add some salt, because remember, salt makes everything taste better, makes your flavors pop. And then we're also going to add a little bit of vanilla extract. Now, depending on how this fluffs up and the consistency, we might add a little bit of coconut flour. All right, so let's blend this up and see what happens. Pro tip: in the meantime, make sure that you turn your oven on and you get a nice skillet. All right, so here we've got a non-stick scan pan, and we're turning this up to about a medium-high heat. All right, so as that's heating, let us blend this and see what happens. Now, so far, this is looking really liquidy, so we might have to add a little bit of coconut flour. Yeah, because it's a puree with the eggs, it's almost like a little soup. So what we're going to do is we're going to add a few tablespoons of coconut flour, so a tablespoon per egg. Let's see if this helps thicken it up just a little bit. Oh yeah, definitely a little bit thicker. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So you definitely want it to look like a pancake batter, all right? All right, so now we're gonna make sure that we grease our skillet. All right, so first thing we're gonna use is the coconut oil cooking spray. You wanna give that a good shake. And make sure that you coat that really well. All right, and then we're gonna try to make as many mini pancakes as we can. All right, now we see a little bit of steam coming around. We got some bubbles poking up through, so we're gonna try to give these things a flip. Ooh, look how pretty that looks. That's what I'm talking about. Boom. Look how beautiful those look. All right, and then you just want to try to make sure these are cooked through, and voila. All right, cool. Now the next one, we're gonna use real sweet potato. We probably won't have to use coconut flour because it's already gonna be kind of thick. So we got our same 3 eggs, mise en place. They're ready to go. And now we've got this freshly baked mini sweet potato that I think is about perfect as far as volume goes. And by the way, what do you do with the skins? Make sure you save them, especially if you got some fur babies, because pro tip, dogs love potato skins. So now what we're going to do is we're going to crumble this up and put it in here. There we go. Saving the skins. We're going to add a little bit of vanilla. And just like before, a little bit of salt. You could probably add a little bit of cinnamon if you wanted to. And then we're going to blend this up. Now, pro tip, remember you got to use a blender. The hand mixer just doesn't work. That's a nice consistency. A little bit of butter. Nice generous amount. Now to get every last drop out, if you're the only one eating it, you and your partner, you use your hands, you know what I'm saying? Shoot. All right, now these look nice and set on the bottom. Kind of hard to tell. Scoop up under it. Could go just a little bit longer, you can see. So we'll let the others go just a little bit. Look at that gorgeousness. All right, now check it out. On the left, we've got the real sweet potatoes using Japanese yams. They look absolutely amazing. And then we've got the sweet potato puree, which also look amazing. Now, I'm not gonna eat these right now. I'm gonna wait for our ultimate taste tester to get home. And we're gonna let her give us her feedback. All right, so we've got on the left here, sweet potato puree, which is like the orange potatoes. And we use the coconut oil cooking spray. And on the right here, we've got the Japanese yam sweet potato pancakes. And we have the ultimate taste tester here. I already know they're great.
All right, we'll try this one first. Cheers.
This is the puree one?
Uh-huh. All right.
Good, legit.
Mm-hmm.
And legit too. Sweeter, you can taste the Japanese yam in that one.
Mm-hmm. They're both really good.
Yeah, now, what's your favorite way to eat it?
With jam.
With jam or honey? Homemade jam or jam that has ingredients to check out for sure. All right, so let's recap. For sweet potato pancakes, you can use either puree or fresh cooked sweet potatoes. Actually, it doesn't even have to be fresh cooked. It can be cooked on the weekend, which is what we do. We cook our potatoes on the weekend. We pull from the fridge throughout the week. But if you use the puree to make it just a little bit thicker, you can add some kind of a flour like coconut flour or cassava or arrowroot or white rice or something like that, okay? And pro tip, you got to use a blender. You can't use a hand mixer. It doesn't poof it up enough. All right, so all we did was put the potatoes, the eggs, some salt, some vanilla, some flour if necessary, blended it up, super simple list of ingredients, and then we just poured it into little pancake looking things in the skillet and cooked it till it was done. That's it. All right, now these are great little snacks. The more egg heavy, the less carby and starchy, so you could probably take these with you to work, you know what I'm saying? And then when you serve it, you want to use some homemade jam. Thank you, Jana, for giving us some jam. You can use some honey. You could even use some store-bought approved jam, maybe some nut butters or something like that, all right? Maple syrup also. And the low-carb maple syrup. Forgot about that one, all right? Now, pro tip. For everything that you think you have to give up when transitioning to this healthier way of eating, there's probably an SHT-approved version that you can go to.